Hi, my name is Matt, and this story happened when I was 12 years old. Like many kids my age, I couldn't wait for Christmas. The prospect of getting a new Sega Genesis gaming system was deep in my thoughts. However, my sister Emma was the center of attention that year. A radiant teenager with a charm that captivated all who knew her. However, her happiness was marred by a tumultuous relationship with a boy named Jacob. He was a constant presence, an ominous shadow that clung to Emma's every move. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about him, an unsettling obsession that made my skin crawl. My folks seemed to loathe the very mention of Jacob, and I could often hear my father and sister arguing about him downstairs. Months passed, and the relationship between Emma and Jacob reached its breaking point. On Christmas Eve, tensions boiled over, and Emma finally severed ties with her possessive boyfriend. The air in our home grew heavy with relief, but an unspoken fear lingered in the atmosphere, as if the echoes of Jacob's obsession refused to fade away. That night, as we gathered around the tree, the festive ambiance was tinged with a sense of unease. As I glanced out the window, I noticed a small gift bag on the doorstep, an unexpected addition to our holiday bounty. Drawn by curiosity and perhaps a lingering sympathy for Jacob, I brought the mysterious gift inside. Under the dim glow of Christmas lights, I unpacked the gift bag, revealing a small, nondescript box. The weight of it seemed inconsequential, but I felt that the contents inside might give Jacob and my sister some sort of friendly closure to their relationship. In a misguided attempt to console the broken-hearted Jacob, I placed the gift beneath the tree, hoping to bring some solace to a troubled soul. The following morning arrived with the excitement of unwrapping presents and exchanging joy. Emma's eyes sparkled with anticipation as she reached for the modest box that appeared mysteriously overnight. A fleeting moment of hope flickered across her face, expecting perhaps a piece of jewelry or a sentimental trinket. Her hands trembled as she opened the box, only for hope to morph into sheer horror. The room fell into a stunned silence as Emma gazed upon the gruesome spectacle. A severed ring finger, adorned with the ring Jacob had once given her. The air grew thick with shock and disbelief as the realization of the grotesque gift unfolded before us. The atmosphere, once filled with warmth of family and celebration, turned icy with terror. The specter of Jacob's obsession had not only lingered, but had manifested in a chilling act of self-mutilation. The memory of that Christmas would forever be etched in our minds, a harrowing reminder that sometimes, even in the season of joy, darkness can cast its shadow over the most cherished moments of our lives.
A little child by the name of David lived a long time ago in the country of Israel. He lived in the town of Bethlehem and was the youngest of 8 brothers. David was not your typical youngster. He was tasked with taking care of his father's sheep. He ensured that no harm came to the fields by spending his days and nights there. It was not an easy task, particularly when there was a risk. The sheep were frequently targeted by lions and bears, but David was a fearless man. He repelled them with only his staff and sling to save his flock. David enjoyed playing his harp when he wasn't among his sheep. Even the birds paused to listen to his exquisite playing. A wise man by the name of Samuel paid David a visit one day. God had revealed to Samuel that David will rule Israel as king in the future. As a result, Samuel anointed David, designating him for a crucial position. Meanwhile, a major issue was developing in a nearby valley. Both the Israelites and the Philistines, their adversaries, were getting ready for combat. Goliath was the monstrous warrior of the Philistines. He was more powerful than a bear and taller than any man. Goliath challenged the Israelites to send a warrior to face him every day, but they were all too terrified. David once went to his brother's location in the Israelite army to deliver food to them. He was shocked to see that everyone was terrified of Goliath. David declared, "I'll take on Goliath. God kept me safe from bears and lions while I looked out for my sheep. He'll now defend me." David received armor from the king, but it was too heavy. David made the decision to utilize merely some stones and his sling. David picked up a stone, put it in his sling, and slung it fiercely as Goliath advanced. Goliath was struck squarely in the forehead by the stone as it soared into the air. Goliath fell to the ground, and David won. David's bravery showed that no matter how small you are, you can overcome big challenges with faith and courage. And that young boy, David, would go on to be one of the greatest kings of Israel.
In the ancient land of Israel, there lived a man named Elijah. He lived in a time when it never rained and everything was dry. Rivers dried up, crops withered, and the earth cracked under the scorching sun. People were worried, but Elijah believed that God would help them. Elijah lived by a little brook called Cherith because God told him to go there and hide from King Ahab and his queen, Jezebel, who led the people to worship false gods. Every day, black ravens brought Elijah bread and meat so he could survive far from the city. This was a special way God took care of Elijah. But soon the brook dried up too, so God sent Elijah to a town called Zarephath. There he met a widow who was running out of food. Elijah told her something amazing. If she shared her food with him, God would make sure her food didn't run out until it rained again. And that's exactly what happened. Her jar of flour and jug of oil never ran out. The widow had a son who got very sick. He stopped breathing and died. Elijah was very sad and prayed to God, and miraculously the boy started breathing again. The woman was so happy and knew that Elijah was truly close to God. One day, God told Elijah to confront King Ahab and challenge him to a test to prove whose God is real. He went to a place called Mount Carmel to show the people who the real God was. He challenged the prophets of a false god, Baal. They both would sacrifice a bull on an altar, but they wouldn't start the fire themselves. Instead, they would ask their gods to do it. The prophets of Baal tried all day, but nothing happened. Then it was Elijah's turn. He repaired the altar of God that had been broken, placed his sacrifice upon it, and even poured water over it. He prayed, and suddenly fire came down from the sky and burned up his sacrifice. Everyone was amazed and realized that Elijah's God was the real God. After this, Elijah prayed for rain on top of Mount Carmel. A tiny cloud grew bigger and bigger. Then it started to rain. Everyone was so relieved and happy. After Elijah made it rain, Queen Jezebel got really angry. Elijah was scared, so he ran away into the wilderness. While Elijah was hiding and feeling really alone, something amazing happened. God spoke to him. God told Elijah that he wasn't alone. There were lots of other people who now believed in God. This made Elijah feel much better. God also told him about new things to do and about a man named Elisha who would help him and one day be his successor. One day when he was with Elisha, a fiery chariot with fiery horses came and took Elijah right up to heaven. Elijah's journey was filled with miracles and the power of God. It teaches us about having faith and trusting in God, even when things seem really tough.